Okay, guys, we're gonna go over the episode. So the episode is they're finally landing in Paldea, which is sick. Obviously, they're going to Paldea for two reasons. First reason is they're looking for Rayquaza. The news is that Rayquaza has been sighted in Paldea. So this is news now. So this might be how Dot knows. And the second thing, I didn't know this about the show because I didn't watch the first few episodes of subtitles, but they're here to drop Liko off forever at home so she can do her school from her actual house.
Yeah, that kind of confused me, but it made sense. I just never thought that it was, even with the subtitles, I didn't think it was like permanent. What are you gonna do there? Like, how do you go? Like, you're just gonna take online classes at home? Like,
Yeah.
it's dumb.
Oh yeah.
Maybe because like I just knew the writing. Maybe it was like they're not gonna keep her there. She has to go off and do stuff, right?
Yeah, they're not gonna keep her, but that's what their intention was. So how does that even make sense? So somehow she ends up in the academy in Kanto, and the mom wants to rescue her back for what reason?
I think a better way of looking at it was maybe the mom knew that she was gonna get into. There's a high chance of trouble, so she was like, for her sake, because she's asking, send her to school, but we're gonna put bodyguards. The second things get out of control, try to gain control over the situation. If you can't, get her back to me. That's like if I'm thinking as a mom, maybe if Amethyst never popped up, she just continues to live there in school and everything's good. But because he popped up and it got too chaotic, Freed made an executive call to say, we're going back. Screw this.
So like they're looking at Paldea, they're flying over it. I can't even tell which part this is. They show all the rivals, so he's looking at it. They keep showing her. So I also suspect the intro is gonna change and everything soon.
Yeah, you notice how like it almost seems like we needed 2-3 more episodes before she starts like showing herself again.
Yeah, you thought there'd be a proper gap.
No, they're cutting through this quick.
I don't know what's going on here. Like the costume has never stunk before or something.
I guess she's just constantly wearing it, but it's the play into something later on. It's basically just instigating the need for her to like
put the costume out.
It's a setup. A previous episode, you're like, what if there's this ongoing joke that everybody knows that she's Gurmeen, but Liko never knows, right? So that's the point.
So the costume smells, so she's gonna do laundry and put it out. And then she's landed in Paldea, so she's gonna go home.
Go back here. This is pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Like, so I think this is the academy, right?
So if you zoom out here, like, so here's one cool moment, right? So the academy's right there, which is exciting. The academy. Think about it from like all the people that are watching now and like who played Scarlet. You played the game and now you're seeing the anime. It's a weird thing. It's like if any other video game. Has anyone else done this before? Where you play a game and now you're watching an anime form.
Oh, there's something. No, Pokemon is the one that does it best.
Yeah, so if you look at this, you see the academy, so you're like, this is exciting. Like, we played open world. It almost looks like Miraidon should be like jumping up on like those mountainous places.
So you know what's in store in this. Oh shoot, this is Area 0.
That's what I was trying to get at. I was trying to say the whole thing.
You're right.
The whole point is that's Area 0. Look at the academy size. Look at Area 0.
That is way bigger than it is in game. That's how big it should have been in game. You should not be able to climb it.
Yeah, you should never been able to climb it.
Because they make it seem too easy for people to go in.
Yeah, that was the whole like setup of what I was saying. I'm like, you could find a bunch of like meanings in it. This is cool because you almost can see the terrain the
true scale.
Don't you get the impression that it's like not only is it not scalable, but unless we have like a hole that we can crack through, you're never gonna go into the crater.
True.
Imagine Freed flew over and he's like, and then his ship broke. Now you're never getting out of the crater.
Yeah, I would want his ship to not able to go that high, like a storm happens.
Well, I was saying that once he's in there, he's stuck. Remember a few episodes back, I was saying there's a crater in Africa and it's so deep that what ended up happening is animals kind of fell in there. And they never got out, so an ecosystem built in there.
Time capsule.
So if you jump in there, there's lions, there's elephants, there's all this stuff in there. It's the same thing like this. Those animals, once they're in, they never, ever get out. If somehow like fell off the airship in here, unless I know some back route, I'm stuck in there for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because those walls are impossible to scale.
Ooh, that'd be nice. Imagine they're stuck for like 10 episodes. Her first mission is she's gonna go home. Is this the airship here? Yeah.
It constantly shows you scale, like
scale,
how small the airship is relative to even like put your mouse on the airship.
Yeah.
Now just look at the mountain is just right beside it.
Yeah, all these clips.
Yeah, that you see that?
Yeah,
it's like the same height.
Has anyone played the Zelda game in chat? Is the Zelda world bigger than Paldea when you explore? But which one is bigger? Okay, so they land. This is kind of cool. They're wearing casual clothes.
Yeah, they're just chilling now.
I like that. So they're wearing casual clothes. They're gonna go buy food. And then Freed's going to drop Bleak off at the house. She's constantly overhearing these things. Like, oh, they're going to drop me off. They're going to visit her mom. Roy's going to come too. And then it opens up and shows the academy.
This is the coolest thing for me. Because again, you play the game, now it's an anime form. Like, yo, we're in the academy. And there's one important factor about the academy.
Yeah. And pretty much you get to see them play the game now, pretty much. Because
The
you know what's in
characters.
store in the region. Now you get to see what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Maybe I might be like one guy who's a bit more enthusiastic, but I'm thinking as a kid, if you're a kid, and then this is almost like DLC, right? In the sense of there's more content around the area that you come. It's like
With the same characters.
It's like if I played Assassin's Creed like in Egypt, and now there's an anime, and I'm like, I want to see how this. What? Now we're in the academy in anime form.
I don't know how they went about this. I thought it would be Manzana, just so it can be its own thing. But they're like decisively picking a world or something.
Yeah, so it's the Orange Academy.
They're wearing orange uniform. Yeah, it's Naranha.
This might be the one pivot we take. So is Violet canon now? Like basically garbage?
I wonder if Violet just becomes the what if story, right? I want them to do those kind of things, just so we know what we're going with when we're making future games.
That was the thing that got me immediately. The second I realized that, I'm like, oh, this is Orange Academy. Okay, so Violet Academy is not here. So there's two possibilities. Either this is Orange and it's perfectly good, and then you're completely thinking the other one's irrelevant, which I kind of think is okay. But the other outcome is, what if this happens and then suddenly there's an Iron Treads running around? Then you're like,
there is going to be an Iron Treads running around.
Which means both are taking place.
Both are taking place. Both Pokemon are going to be brought out. It depends how deep the anime is involved with the actual like Pokemon Company team. But it would seem Orange is more like the real timeline. We'll see. But I like Pokemon Scarlet better anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like I played Violet, so I've come to know, but definitely Scarlet seems like the more grounded one, like being able to get like creatures of the past, and that seems more grounded, like ancient or more ancient Pokemon and stuff. I'm not mad at it. I don't know if I'm gonna poop it. Y'all already watched the episode, right? Like, so you guys know. But the thing that completely threw me off, I was like, wait, is because in my game, am I wrong? But the characters, like Nemona, for example, if I'm in Violet, her eyes are a different color, right?
I don't think it's her eyes. I think it's her clothes. She's wearing purple.
I swear, like basically at some point you end up seeing like a shot
yeah,
of her,
yeah.
and I'm like, that's not the eye color that I saw. Wait, hold up, orange. I'm like, wait, this is Orange Academy for real. This is exclusive.
Is Nemona's eyes?
Go pull it up. Pull up a Violet Scarlet picture.
So here's Nemona. She got orange eyes.
Okay, so do you have like another one?
There should be more artwork.
Who the heck cares about y'all? No.
Okay. So no, same color eyes.
Same color eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, the uniform just threw me off completely. Then never mind. So one's almost considered irrelevant for the time being.
Yeah, it's just the anime continuity, right? But it's interesting because you thought if they had to make a center for the anime to be part of both worlds, and then you can bring out both past and future Pokemon, that they would have carried on the Manzana joke.
Mm-hmm.
But they decided, hey, we're gonna make Orange the main one. So everyone's wearing orange. It also makes you wonder if Sada is gonna be the main one.
Is Sada the main one, and then Turo is still around?
Tour has to be around still,
which would be interesting. We have to see. This is the lamest thing ever. Go back to that thing.
So
yo guys, if you guys are wondering, so Roy's just like, he's like, oh, I wonder what's that, and you want to know this thing going by? This is what you hear. It's making the dumbest noise.
It's making the bike motor noises with its mouth, but it's running like a dog.
But it's not even moving like Krae and Mariah, and it's like do. It's not like so he's like play the episode, guys.
That's how Koraidon runs. He doesn't run using his bikes. He actually runs.
Yeah, I know Miraidon does that too, but
Miraidon has a bike. Like Miraidon goes on 2 wheels, right? Koraidon, those aren't wheels. Those are flotation devices. So he runs on. You run on his back.
So I'm just looking at this guy with 2 things that are wheels, but he's using his hand. It's so weird.
He's using his legs and he's making the noises with his mouth.
Is it the guy or is it the Pokemon?
No. The Pokemon's doing that.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
They're doing it on purpose.
They made him look a lot lamer than what I.
This is a missed opportunity, bro. They should have let you ride this in Scarlet and Violet. He just can't fly or anything.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
Maybe like you said, maybe in the first DLC. Yeah. Be careful.
This guy's the lamest man on planet Earth. I'm sorry. Look, oh God.
I guess it's a comfortable ride.
He's doing a wheelie. Look at that.
Yeah, he is.
I'm out.
What was that guy riding? It's a Paldea Pokemon. Moto Tokage. So they established this Pokemon very early because
this guy's the king of Konoha.
Why did you say that?
I don't know, because Moto Tokage. I think that's the ultimate one.
Kage. He's the supreme Kage.
Yeah, he's the king of everything.
Remember when we were first watching Naruto, and I'm like, yo, you can introduce the international Kages. This is before Naruto ended. This is completely different to Roy. So he's like seeing all these Paldean Pokemon. So Roy has a lot he's gonna learn here about
These are cool
Paldea
things. These are all things that you experience in the
in the
game.
game. Yeah.
And then now you're watching the characters experience it.
Even the way the stores look. So here they're just chilling at a bench, and he's on the phone with Liko's mom, right? Or he's trying to call Liko's mom to go to voicemail or something. But he finds out that she's not home right now.
I'm looking at that, like, it makes me feel like when I was like a kid and like my uncle's gonna drop me off home and he's just like, all right, yo, what time can I? I'm like, bro, like that's how Liko's feeling, right?
Right.
Because he's
Can we
just on
stay
the
a
phone,
bit
just like,
longer?
it's time to like drop you off or stuff. She's just like, yo, like honestly, even though I get 5 more minutes just hanging on this bench, I'm happy.
That's a nice vibe. So she might still be at work. What kind of work does she do? They said she's on a trip somewhere.
She's an assassin.
Her dad's gonna be home, so they decide to go to Liko's house. And while going to Liko's house, she's thinking that, damn, I'm gonna have to stay in Paldea forever. Like, this is my last day on the ship. And so yeah, she's hanging out the outfit to dry. And like, okay, so she goes inside and the freaking fisherman is just sleeping here, right? Do you notice they got like similar hair, right? Kind of. I'm just saying because Quaxley's cool with both of them.
Yeah, well, maybe just the grandpa is just like one person that like she'll speak to. I mean, she's talking to him casually here, right?
Okay, I was gonna say, what if this is like Murdoch's like grandpa or something?
That'd be cool.
So like, you know, they're all connected.
He seems to be one, like if you notice in the previous episode, he's like saying these little like philosophical things, like he's like, coal must be polished to a diamond, and then like he's seen them both fight, and he's like, polishing is happening before our eyes. And
Yeah,
like, something like that.
something.
He's elder, he knows something over here. What are you, the Kage of Moto Tokage over here? Here he is.
Here we go. He does more poetic stuff. Hearing a knock but not answering is no different from being out. I don't know what that means, but this one, caring but not saying anything is the same as not caring.
That's actually a good one.
It's a good one.
Caring but not saying anything is no different from not caring.
It's a bystander thing.
Yeah, it's a cool saying.
So like, you can care all you want wherever you are, but you have to do something about it.
Yeah,
even if you're annoying.
See, you can learn from anything.
You can learn from Moto Tage. And then they're walking to Liko's house. And this is Liko's house. Now, does this not look like the house you move into at the start of the game? It's like she took our house. So at her house, she has a Pokemon. She has Fido. The Fido belongs to her dad. And the moment Fido comes out and starts greeting her, Pikachu just starts getting jealous. And this dude who we saw in the preview last episode, we're like, no, there's no way that's Liko's dad. It's his dad, her dad.
That's her dad. But you know what I was going to say? I was like, for some reason, I don't feel like, usually like this whole thing, I'm like, yo, dog, like you're lame, right? But I'm like, I'm kind of okay with him the way he is. He's like a painter dude, right? He's like a cool, laid back painter art dad who's kind of like, it's almost like I understand the typing in this situation. He doesn't have to be any more manly, or he's just like
I like this role for him.
It kind of sometimes they'll design a dad to look like he's just like a waste. And I'm like, I don't think he's waste. I think he's just got a different way of like.
And he's like drawing. So what this guy does is he's a painter and he makes like a bunch of picture books. Why is I laughing?
For some reason, because I'm saying all this, like, oh man, he's so kind, he's so calm,
and then
he's
look at him,
so collected, and then I'm waiting for him to be like this. Is the camera on me? I'm waiting for it to be like this.
Oh my god, you're home, Liko.
Look at him, he's so happy.
Damn, what if he did turn out? What if he's the leader of the explorers? The whole time he was like, I need to get that pendant.
And that's him.
He almost got it. What the hell is this?
Sorry, it's him running, but let's give you
the name's Freed. Nice to meet you. So he's only really talked to the mom, I guess. I'm Liko's father, Alex.
I would commission someone if they made the art for me on the
Arcanine, right?
Oh my god,
that Arcanine is sick.
If I was walking by like a fan expo and then I saw that, I'm like buying that, putting in my room. I got like a list of like 6 Pokemon that like if I had to choose, I'd run around with those 6. I don't need the rest of them.
Milotic, right?
Huh? Milotic's not one of them. 2 of them are ironically from Gen 1. It'd be Blastoise and Arcanine. I want those 2.
You wouldn't take like Rhydon and Raticate? So pretty much he drew these photos too, which is funny. He just drew his own, he decorated his own house.
Which is sick.
He shows Roy to read a bunch of his picture books, and Liko asks where the mom is, and she's off on a field trip and won't be back today. So Liko's kind of feeling weird, and the reason she's feeling weird is because it's kind of settling in for that she's not going to be able to go back to the ship. And I think, how much time you think passed since she started living on the ship? At least like 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks, maybe.
But she's gotten extremely comfortable. You can see when she's like feeding all the Pokemon, doing laundry, cleaning the deck and all, that she's gotten really like attached to it. So she's going back to her room. And then obviously Pikachu's ran off because it's jealous that Fido's too comfortable with Liko. And so while she's looking for Sprigatito, she overhears the dad talking with Frida about how the dad actually cares about her and how he's always worried about her. And they don't really like explain this too much, but she never knew her dad cared like that or something like that, which is...
I think one thing that you have to factor in is the kids are super young, right? I did a little Google search. Basically, like it's written that like our main characters in like Scarlet and Violet are like 12.
Okay.
And then Nimona would be like 16.
What?
Which is weird because she looks like she's like 19. And then like I'm saying in terms of character design, right?
Okay.
But point being is she's very young.
They're still
so
kids, yeah.
maybe in these points in her life, the parents aren't explaining too much to them and they're kind of busy with their work. So they think about it. She's like, so that's what he's been thinking. You're 12.
The way you said it is right. So she probably just didn't think too deep into it.
Or like have those moments with her father. You know what I mean?
So now she's overhearing that he's always worried about her. She finds the Sprigatito and Lico's acting weird. So she's like, I'm just going to go back to the ship and come back tomorrow.
She's in her head.
And Sprigatito's still mad. So it stays here in the house while Lico, Fried, and Roy go back. Or does this guy even come back? He's just reading books all day, isn't he?
He's preparing to become the Ancient Man. It's kind of cool because in this situation, it looks like Roy is kind of like still a permanent member and Lico's kind of like
yeah, he's like, yeah,
on the outside, right? And he's just like, I'm reading. I'm going to go capture this Freed.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, I'm going to get kicked off. No, man, I want to come back.
Also, do you think the Arcanine photo is the grandma's Arcanine?
I hope so. Think of it like someone attacks the grandma and this Arcanine comes with a snarling face. That's the protector dog I want for her. That's
huge.
Perfect.
Yo, imagine a Mega Arcanine.
I wish.
That's like one of the ultimate Pokemon that should get one.
I wish.
They should make Mega Articuno Zapdos and Moltres and then Arcanine as well, just to honor that old thing where the Arcanine should have... Wasn't Arcanine supposed to be one of them?
Arcanine, there's something like unique about him. Like, for example, if you guys pull up the...
Pokedex.
Can we do this on Google right now?
Okay, do you want to pull up the... You're talking about the slates?
What's a slate?
Okay, what are you going to say?
You might be saying the same thing as me. Pull up, if you just type in Arcanine, base set, there he is. Now read it. Go click on him. What does it say? Is it... No, you look at the picture. What Pokemon is he?
Legendary Pokemon.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So long ago, they were planning something for him.
That's so sick.
And then they kind of just like capped it. I don't know if people knew that, but I was a kid when I owned this card and I was like, he's the legendary Pokemon. That's why he's one of my favorite.
I was going to reference this. This is in the anime, or no, it's in Pokemon Origins, which is recent. It shows Arcanine.
Arcanine there.
So I want them to honor it. Like, imagine we go back to Kanto and they link them in some way. But obviously Arcanine is now a more common Pokemon. So we have to see how they could pull something like that off. But
that's why he's like one of my favorite Pokemon. He's so mythologically like perfect.
So they abandoned ship. They're like, bro, you keep painting. We're going to go to the ship and come back. Obviously, Sprigatito stayed back. When she's going back to the ship and she lands on it, she utters, I'm home, which is like...
It slips her mouth.
It slips her mouth because in Japanese culture, you say that always when you're leaving and coming. So it slips her mouth because that's what she feels deep inside. Down, like, this is my home. Meanwhile, Fido brings like Lico's pillow from her bed and tries to bond with Sprigatito. And then they start getting along. So they're having their own sleepover party. Then...
Gurmine's still terrorizing the air.
They've all gone to sleep, and then the next morning she sees this photo on her doorstep, which is going back to the fisherman saying that like if she cares to show it in some way. So that's why she drew this, because even Dot doesn't know if Liko would come back, right? First thing that happens on the ship before they leave is Roy's the one who says that Sprigatito's probably jealous because the Fido thing, which is he's the only one who picked up on it, which is interesting.
So in this moment she realizes that like all that time she was in her head so much that she couldn't even like figure that out, and Roy figured it out.
Second thing that happens is she goes to Dot's door and says, thanks for the drawing, but Dot doesn't really answer.
And she goes, I'll be back.
And she says, I'll be back, but it shows on the other side that she's like, I'll be waiting.
So she's slightly warming up to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she likes them.
Because she's so confused as to what to do. She bumps into like these guys all having a conversation, and then they kind of mention something along the lines of like, you have to do what you like. Like you have to be where you want to be. Basically, girls' night out, they have a conversation. It strengthens her resolve, and she's like, I know what I want. I'm gonna stay here.
Stay on the ship.
So that's what she runs off.
So she runs out in a rush. So when I'm watching the episode, I actually paused here and I'm like, if she just turned around, she would know Gurmine's on the ship. And then she does turn around and she sees it, but she's like, bro, I got no time. I gotta run. But they're purposely teasing that she's so close to finding out, but she never will.
She never will.
So Freed follows from behind. Sprigatito's waiting at the front door for Liko. And then something just happens here where she runs into what is this thing called? Omelette? What's the Pokemon called? Oink.
Oinkachu or something? I don't know, man.
Oinkalone. Lechonk.
Lechonk. There you go.
She runs into Lechonk, and Sprigatito also comes and helps, and they fight the Lechonk, beat it up. And this is like the end of the episode, right? So they come back home. I don't even remember what happens here. They come back home. Oh, and she announces to her dad that she's gonna go to the ship.
Yeah.
And she and then she also tells her dad that she understands something that her grandma told her back then, which is a flashback we saw earlier, which is when she's holding the pendant when Liko's a kid, and she says, "I know the day will come when you go on your own adventure with the pendant around your neck." And Liko goes, "Really? But aren't adventures scary?" And she goes, "The only scary part is the first step. If you take that step, you'll find brand new horizons."
And then look at this gangster just pull up beside her.
This Arcanine, bro. Imagine it was a shiny Arcanine.
She even like pets it after.
You'll find new horizons and forget that you ever scared in the first place.
Like she's just petting it with your Pokemon by her side. See, that's her Arcanine.
That is.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. You see these pictures of her?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, this is like the fourth Hokage, bro. I want someone to jump Liko, and then she just brings out like the most savage, like 6-man team of Pokemon.
So she says she's gonna travel with the Rising Voltaclers, and that's the end of the episode.
And then Gurmeen cleans your clothes finally.
She finally cleans her clothes. So they talk about here that if Pokemon have different natures, sometimes they can evolve differently. But how many Pokemon does that happen to? I only know one.
What they do?
There's a Pokemon that depending on the nature, it evolves differently. But she made it sound like there's a bunch of them.
There's a Pokemon depending on its nature. Yeah, I don't even know that. I'm not.
There's one Pokemon. You know what it is?
A Pokemon whose nature changes when it evolves?
No. Depending on the nature, it evolves differently.
It's Tyrogue, right? Tyrone?
You're right. I was thinking Toxtricity.
Oh, so there's more than one.
There's two then now. Because Tyrogue is like that, isn't he? It's like whichever stat is higher, but it might be nature.
Hey, I actually contributed.
And then he also asked Liko's dad about the Black Rayquaza. And then
Rayquaza.
He said he drew a picture book about one. I don't know if he drew a picture book after the recent sightings. I'm going to assume he knows nothing. Like, he just heard about it and he's like, I'm going to draw pictures of it. But he says some legendary man named Kolza saw a rare Pokemon and you should go ask him. You know who Kolza is?
Nah.
You don't know Kolza?
I saw it. I was just like, legendary. This guy's an artist, bro.
Yeah, he's an artist. He makes like sunflowers.
Who the heck is Kolza?
He makes like sunflower statues and other grass type statues. Or Arboliva.
Who?
It's Brassius.
Who, Kolza's Brassius?
Yeah. I didn't know either. I'm like, oh shoot, Kolza.
Well, how did you know that though?
Because when you look at the preview, they show ugly ass Brassius and they call him Kolza.
Oh, I thought like the community right now, y'all knew that this guy's nickname was Kolza.
Who has lore like that on Brassius?
I don't know.
So they say that rare Pokemon he saw could be Rayquaza. I don't think it is. It's gonna lead to something else. Maybe it's too early for Paradox stuff, but it'll lead to something else. Let's go investigate Bold Town.
So they're in Paldea now investigating. So
they're
officially now in Paldea doing like Paldean things. Like they're playing the game now.
They're playing the game. The first gym leader Brassius, right?
Yeah.
So the Pokerap Freed does it again. But did you notice that after he does that, he's like singing the rest of the song with them?
Hey, he's just chilling.
But no, he finishes the Pokerap and he's singing with them at the end.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, it sounds like the song is different.
He just handled it like a champion.
Yeah, he did.
Like, that's what I do.
Okay, next episode preview.
See, this is so weird.
It just shows Nemona. She's a freaking champion. And if you look at all these trainers, and it looks like she's known as a champion.
She looks so much more older than everybody else. Like exactly. Like it's almost like she's the champion that just came home and everyone's greeting her.
She already got the clout, yeah.
And like this, like I think the next slide, like look how her face looks, right?
Yeah,
she looks way older.
She looks mature, yeah.
She looks way more older. Like she looks a lot more like the way you would look at. I was trying to think of certain characters in other animes. They kind of come home after like venturing, and then you're just like, that's like the superior person. She comes off as like that talented.
I think she is like a legendary trainer in Paldea because there's not many champions, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she's the most recent champion.
Yeah.
So she has clout here.
Yeah, I think they're showing her in a bit more of a cooler light. I can't. Okay, so in the beginning, I'm like, go Roy, go hit on her, go Roy, and then then you go to the next slide. I'm like, what does this guy want?
Is he looking at Nemona? He's like, the champion is here. Look, it's cold.
He's so cracky. Who cares about the like part? Look at him, bro. This man, he never sleeps.
He made these though. He made the Tropius. He made the Sawsbuck.
That's a pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a good sculptor. Nemona's gonna be crazy. She's like
the Gary of the show.
That's what I'm saying. If the explorers ever pop up, she can beat them.
Yeah,
so they have to somehow keeping her distracted. So here's Kolza. See, look, gym leader Kolza.
Bro, he's so creepy. Look,
he's like, it's Liko. Oh, maybe he knows Liko because she's Paldean, right? Nah, she don't know him. Oh, this is Nemona's Pokemon. This is what she's gonna show off then. A freaking showered Palmot. What the hell? They're gonna actually gym battle him? He's gonna terrestrialize that thing. Nemo and Koza. All right, well that's the episode.
So now officially, just like in Dragon Ball Super, we've done the prequel stuff. We're now in Paldea.
And we're gonna see that it leads to the time machine stuff, the gym leader stuff.
So the question I keep asking every single episode is,